Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. Now, in these troubled times, roads are absolutely critical for people to get around. And as we've seen, we now have riots on roads, we have roads blocked, we have burning tires, rocks thrown all over the place. Roads are becoming a battleground. And we also have a huge amount of money that's been totally wasted. You know that they're spending something like 200 billion rand upgrading the Cape Town International Airport. That's currently in play. And the road between, talking about roads, the road between the Cape Town International Airport and the city, the N2, is one of the most dangerous roads to actually travel along in South Africa, and we have so many reports of that we've actually carried here. I don't have to go into detail. But why are they wasting 200 billion rand upgrading an airport when that money could be put into roads? Because let's face it, tourism in South Africa is dying off. With all the trouble, I mean, people are seeing all over the world what's happening in South Africa today. And I would suggest there's a huge drop-off in tourism. So to go and spend 200 billion rand increasing the size of your capacity at Cape Town International Airport when it's going to reduce kind of seems like a waste of money to me. Anyway, that's just my thought. Let's have a look at the roads. The cost to eradicate South Africa's road maintenance backlog has more than doubled to 416.6 billion rand from about 197 billion rand in 2013. This is one of the conclusions reached in research conducted by Matthew Townsend, a transport economist and economics PhD student at the University of Cape Town. He presented his findings at the Southern African Transport Conference in Pretoria this week. Townsend says the magnitude of the backlog means it will be immensely difficult to eradicate. At best, we can perhaps address the backlog over the long term, especially given South Africa's current low growth trajectory and the National Treasury's commitment to fiscal consolidation. He adds that a high degree of prioritization is required within the road network maintenance space, and that possible alternative funding sources to finance the backlog within a 5-year period have been explored. The maintenance backlog would take up the entire 400 billion rand budget for the new economic stimulus plan presented by President Cyril Ramaphosa, says Townsend. It would also equate to an extra 4 percentage points on the value-added tax rate, or add an extra 3 rand a litre to the national fuel levy. He says the opportunity cost in redirecting the entire economic stimulus plan would be extremely high, while the idea of increasing the VAT rate to 19% is not realistic, given how difficult it was from a political economy perspective to get the recent 1 percentage point hike approved. Townsend says 61.2 billion rand is required to eradicate the functional paved road backlog. The functional backlog is a performance indicator set by the Department of Transport that no more than 10% of the road network should be in a poor or very poor condition. The majority of this backlog is concentrated in provincial roads networks. Although provinces are only responsible for 29.9% of the total paved road network, they actually account for 78.1% of the functional backlog, and are a very large driver of the paved roads maintenance backlog, says Townsend. He adds that 77.5% of all gravel roads are currently in poor and very poor condition, which translates into 243.7 billion rand in functional backlog. There are huge backlogs on the gravel road network, and that in itself is surpassing the figure which is currently being reported as the total road maintenance backlog. To upgrade only the high-volume gravel roads, the majority of which are within the provinces, will take 115 billion rand, says Townsend, and he stresses that not all these gravel roads would or should be maintained. We're looking at such high backlog estimates that there needs to be a rationalization exercise. Roads which are contributing positively should be kept, and those that are not should be actively unproclaimed to try and get these figures to reasonable quantums that the department can address. Townsend points out that the provincial roads maintenance backlog of 150.7 billion rand is 6 times the provincial annual expenditure, while the municipal roads maintenance backlog of 242.9 billion rand is 8 times the annual expenditure of municipalities. Isn't that just crazy? Maintenance, maintenance, maintenance. Missing in action in South Africa. Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates, and have a good evening. Bye.